There we go. Hey, yo, what's going on? This is Derek here, getting ready to hop on either the dial or the follow ups. I'm not sure which one I want to tackle right now. Hoping that somebody can hop in quickly and let me know what they want to see. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe. Again, my name is Derek. I live in California, virtually wholesaling out in Texas, Houston to be exact. So if you're in the Houston market, hey, no, that's my dog doing what he damn well pleases. Um, so if you're in Houston, let me know. I'd love to partner up with something. Network, connect, see how we can be mutually beneficial. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna hop right into it. Excuse me. Um, yeah, I haven't decided. I don't know if I'm gonna cold call or follow up. I think I'm gonna follow up. Although I titled this cold calling. Do cold calling. Wow, JLep. Okay. I don't know, man. I feel like I gotta start gathering. I do a lot of hunting, not so much gathering. I'll do a little cold calling. Um, you know what I really want to do? I want to hit the cold calling like hard. Um, Meaning like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to really be interacting and stuff like that, but I really want to hit it. Oh shit! I accidentally joined that before I was even ready. 1 second. Oops. I always do that. Check, check, check. Can you hear me? Check. Looks like it. Cool. All right. I'll do cold calling just for you, J-Love. I'm gonna go join campaign. All right, here I go. Thought it was funny the guy the other day who ended up turning into like a pretty good follow-up lead that was saying that wanted to pay down his mortgage a little bit more before he considered selling. I don't know if I really like explained what he was saying, but I went through my intro and his response was, "Are you a robot or a human being?" I, Hello? Hey, Wana, how's it going? This is Derek. Hi, this is Derek. I'm sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Eubank Street. Yeah, can you hear me? She was Spanish speaker. I kind of just kept talking in English just in case, but she wasn't understanding me, so on to the next till everyone gets home from work. Yeah, see, that's another thing that I've kind of stopped thinking about too. Um, People are going to answer if they're going to answer. They're not if they're not. I don't think too much into it. I mean, I know that there probably are better times to cold call, but none of those KPIs are really relevant until you're doing these things at scale, right? So if I'm going to call like a couple hundred people, it doesn't really matter what time of the day I'm calling, if that makes sense. But if I'm calling like a couple thousand a day, then it's worth it to like pick my time, right? My time slots. But at this point, beggars can't be choosers. I can't be like sitting back saying, okay, I'm going to call 100 people today. I'm going to call them I want to call them at the perfect time because on in a strong hour, if I call 100 people, I can reach 20 of them. But if I call them in like a less opportune time, I may only be able to get a hold of the like 15 of them. You know what I mean? And at that rate, it's like just call when you can. Um, a handful of contacts isn't going to make a difference as long as you're being consistent about it and you're calling every day. But again, if I was doing it at scale, then yeah, 150 contacts versus 100 contacts. If I'm able to determine like, oh, I should call during this time, then it may be worth that, to make that decision. But it needs to be like an informed decision. Because that's exactly how I was thinking, Jay Lep, in the beginning. Like, oh, I'm gonna wait till everybody gets off work, gets home from school, picks their kids up from school, done with dinner. But then you're just like procrastinating. You're giving it's creative avoidance. You're giving yourself excuses as to why you shouldn't get on the dialer. I know that you're not making an excuse. I'm just kind of because you're telling me what to do. You didn't feel like you wanted to, based off what I'm hearing, you didn't want to tell me what to do. But I asked for your suggestion, so I'm going to take it. Um, but yeah, if you catch yourself thinking that when you go to make calls yourself, just know that it's likely you making excuses for yourself. And I used to do, I still do. You know what I mean? I'm not perfect. I'm not a pro at this. It's 1:30 my time, and I'm just getting on the dialer. I tell myself every day, every night. It's like, damn, like tomorrow I need to get on the dialer at like I need to start at like 10 at the latest. You know what I mean? I need to be getting my 3 hours in, but it's hard with the dog. Not to blame him. Again, that's just another excuse. Uh, just another excuse. Hey, Mr. Franco. Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Bennington Street. Yeah, I was calling about a property I believe you own on Bennington Street. I'm sorry? He's not interested. I've been getting a lot of that today, man. Just kind of brush it off. Let that affect me. Fuck him. I said I was calling about a property on Bennington Street. He said, what? And I said, yeah, I was calling about a property on Bennington Street. And he said, really, dude? And I said, I'm sorry. And then he says, is your wife's ass for sale? Like he's a fucking 6-year-old. And again, I'm gonna brush it off. I hung up on him. There's no point in entertaining that conversation. That's what really, like the biggest perk that I get from this is in my old job. I know I mentioned this before, but in my old job, I didn't have a choice. I had to stay on the phone with those people because, I couldn't just like make sense. Like I worked in insurance, so they were the claimants. So I had their claim. So I had to see it through all the way to the end. Um, and sometimes that could take months, it could take years. Some claims that I got, I was there for 4 years. Some claims that I got in the beginning, I never closed, I never settled them. And they just got prolonged and prolonged. And again, I didn't have the luxury of just hanging up on people because I was going to have to deal with them for the rest of my time until the claim got closed. So I mistakenly brought that habit or that thought, that mentality into this when I first started, and I would entertain those conversations because I felt like I had to. Like if he asked that, like I'm not even gonna lie. Back in the day, not back in the day, but like last year when I started this, I probably would have had to try to come up with some response to that. Like is your wife's ass for sale? And I would have probably been like, oh no, you know what I mean? But I'm a business owner. I get to dictate how I spend my time and how I utilize it most efficiently and effectively. And if that means hanging up on people, so be it. I'll hang up on every single one of the people who starts talking about my girl like that. That's for sure. I'll shut this whole damn channel down before I let them talk to her about her like that. For real though, all jokes aside. But again, I'm gonna brush it off. All it means to me is he's not interested. Hey, Rodolfo. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I swear I got that same wrong number on this property yesterday. Maybe not though. But comes with it. It's all in the game. I'm gonna show you a JLab. The next call I get, I'm gonna I'm gonna show you my Instagram story. Hopefully you're in here. I'm gonna wait till after my next call so that I could just hang out in the post call screen. But how could people be so grouchy on a Friday? That's what I'm saying, man. How could be not even a Friday? How could people be? I don't get how people can act that way in general, man. I just don't get it. I mean, I understand, and I'll always say this. You hear me say it all the time. I understand. I know I'm interrupting their day. I know that I'm probably not the only one calling them. I get it, but like, stop answering your phone. I don't know. I always think it's so funny that people still answer phone numbers that they don't know if they're in that situation, right? If they're getting a bunch of calls, people asking about their property, and they're sick and tired of it, why are they still answering phone numbers that they don't know? Or why are they? Hello? Oh, the voicemail. All right, let me play this for you. So, but yeah, I just don't get that. I really don't get it. How are people just like that grumpy in general? Actually, I can get it. I understand, but I would never let myself get to that point. That's why I quit my job. I was starting to get there, just like mad at life. You know what I mean? Like just upset, and I would bring it home, and people would, you know, so easy to set me off. I get it. So I do get it, but I took control of my life like everybody should. You know what I mean? I quit my job because it was making me unhappy, and I saw how it was affecting me. In his case, if you know that that's how those type of phone calls are gonna make you act, why answer them? You know, or why even give into that? Because I know that I don't feel some type of way about it. Although we're talking about it, it's good content. You know what I mean? It's funny, but I really, back in the day, my heart used to race. I used to sweat, like all types of stuff. My palms would start getting clammy. But like now, it's like whatever. But I know that's bothering him. You know what I mean? Or he's getting a good laugh out of it, but really deep down, he's in pain. You know what I mean? He's sad. He's unhappy, and I really do feel for him in that regard. And that's how I think the mentality that you got to take. You really can't take these things personally. If anything, flip the switch, like I just said, flip the script on him and say, you know what? I feel bad for that guy because he's unhappy. But let me play you this, Jayla. This was a response. So for my SMS campaigns, I uh, I think I explained it to you that I don't answer the phone calls anymore when people call back. So when I do my SMS campaigns, I drop a text and then I drop a ringless voicemail on day one. And then I do that same thing, text, ringless voicemail on day two. So a lot of people actually will call back thinking that they missed your call because they have a voicemail from you. And half the time they're like, "Hey, I got a missed call. Yeah, I was calling about a property I think you own. Were you interested? Oh no, no, I'm not interested. That's why you called. Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't have called back if I knew that was why you were calling." Or people will call and say, "Hey, I got a voicemail. Please take me off your list. I'm not selling my property." Okay, you know what I mean. I think like 99% of the time it's going to be that. I don't have experience with it so much so where I can like put a strong statistic on it. But my coach is telling me like, uh, you will sacrifice some leads if you're not going to answer every single call live. Um, but the alternative is to set up an IVR, or also referred to as a call tree, IVR, interactive voice response. So that when they call in, they hear, if you are interested in selling your property, please leave your name, phone number, and address after pressing one. If you're not interested in selling your property, press two. And that way it all comes in and I can just see like, all right, this person pressed one. Let me give them a call back. This person pressed two. Let me take them off the list. I'm going to stop marketing to them. It just makes it easier so that I can kind of sift through it without the emotions involved of like talking to these people them cursing me out because I'm texting them or whatever. And oh, I don't even need to pull it up. It's on my Instagram story. So this guy, I was checking my Twilio account, which is where all of that data goes this morning, and then I saw one. I'm pretty much just looking at the length of the voicemail. If it's longer than like 30 seconds, then I know somebody actually left me a voicemail. Anything less than that, it's just the actual recording of the voicemail that they're listening to and not actually leaving something after that. But this is my Instagram story. Let me turn it up so you can hear it. This is a voicemail. This is a voicemail. Hey, your mom's a hoe and you're a faggot. You need to go fuck yourself, you stupid little bitch. Hey, if you're listening to this message, it's because you're a fucking asshole. You're a stupid piece of shit loser that'll never go anywhere in life. You're gonna live, you're gonna die, and you're not gonna leave an impact on this world. You're a fucking piece of shit. All in the game, yo. All in the game. All in the game. All in the game. It's all in the game. I'll take it. Yeah, yeah. He went crazy. He went crazy on me. And he called in, left that first voicemail. And mind you, he had to press one to say that I'm interested because that's the only way you can leave a voicemail. If anybody presses two, it just hangs up. So mind you, he called in, pressed one as if he was getting ready to leave a voicemail about him being interested in receiving an offer, left that first voicemail, hung up, called back, pressed one again, left the second voicemail. Man, he went hard on that. But it's all in the game. It's all in the game. Hey, Mr. Boyce. Hi, Heather. This is Derek. I'm sorry about this call. I know it's a bit random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Charles Road. Yeah, just wanted to completely understand. Well, while I have you, would you happen to have any others you might consider selling at the moment? No, okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the call. Right, right. Completely understand that. All right. Well, again, I appreciate you taking the call, and I hope you have a good day. All right. Bye now. Boom. Got hit with the Lord bless you at the end. That's what happens, turning those conversations around. He was a little upset in the beginning. A little haters, man. I know, but that just means I'm popping. You know what I mean? You don't have haters if you're not popping. But uh, this guy right here, he's no, we're not selling. We're not selling. I keep telling everybody who calls me that we're not selling. It's going to my children when I pass away. We're not selling. And I was like, all right, well, would you happen to have any other properties? No, I do not. All right. Well, again, appreciate you taking the call and I hope you have a good day. All right. Lord bless you. Hey, same to you, man. You know what I mean? So easy to flip those conversations around. I learned that about halfway, 6 months in, probably, that your energy dictates how they act. Unless there's something. Hey, Guadalupe. Hey, how's it going? This is Derek. Sorry, I know this is a random, but I was calling about a property I believe you own on Bannister Lane. She hung up. I think she was Spanish speaking. I don't know if she understood me or not. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, yeah. I learned about 6 months in that your energy pretty much dictates how the phone conversation is gonna go. Hello, hey, is Mr. Contreras? Oh, I'm sorry about that. But, uh-huh. And yeah, I mean, again, at first I used to be feeding into that negativity, like somebody were to, we're not selling. I keep telling everybody. Again, back in the day, I used to, my heart started pounding. Like I would try to come up with something to try to escape the situation. But it's just like, you know what? I completely understand. You don't want to sell. You don't want to sell. That's something else that I learned. I mean, not learned, but Brent Daniels really preaches. Oh, I was watching his morning show on Wednesday. He goes live Wednesday mornings, and he had his acquisition manager on to answer questions, and they were like stressing this one. They're stressing this one point that you can't convince somebody. You're not ever going to convince somebody to sell your property. And if you do convince them because you have like these extreme like Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street type sales tactics and skills, what's going to happen is they're going to sign the contract and then they're going to cancel it while you're in escrow, which is so true. You know, I think that's what happened with like the first couple of my contracts that ended up falling through. It was like I told them what they wanted to hear, and then I think it would have worked for us. I mean, a couple of them I locked up too high, but still, I think we were using really good sales tactics to be able to get them to sign, and then they sign. But then when we're in escrow, they start to get seller's remorse, and they're like, "Man, did we make a good decision? Like, I feel like I was kind of pressured. Like, he was hitting me from all angles with all these sales skills. Like, I'm gonna call him right now and tell him we don't want to sell. You know what I mean? Because that's a big part of it. Not only do you have to get it signed, the contract, but then you have to keep them on the hook for however long it takes to close. In my case, in my two deals, the first one took about 45 to 60 days to close. And then the second one took about 30 to 40, I think it was 45 exactly, actually. And he told me, I think I mentioned this in one of my videos. He told me, yeah, man, I had other people calling me after I had signed your contract while we were waiting to close, and people were making me offers, and I was thinking about backing out, but I ended up not. So it's just like that was a real big eye opener for me. Like, damn, I should have tried to push for a much quicker close. I should have been calling him much more often, giving him updates, and doing a lot more on my part. Granted, I was in Hawaii, but it was a really big learning lesson for me. Like, just as easily as you can get a contract signed, somebody can cancel it and back out. But that's also why memorandums of contracts are powerful. Because if he were to have backed out, I don't know if I would have, but I would have been in my right to go down to the county and file a memorandum of contract and say, hey, look, this seller told me, here's our contract. We were in agreement. I was supposed to close on this property on this date, but now he's backing out and says he doesn't want to do it. I want to file this memorandum to ensure that he doesn't go behind my back and sell it to somebody else, which is the only time that a memorandum of contract is appropriate, is if the seller doesn't adhere or keep up with their obligation in the contract. Not It should not be used if you as the buyer or wholesaler doesn't fulfill their obligations in the contract, because that doesn't make any sense. You wouldn't go down to the county and say, hey, I want to make sure that this seller doesn't go behind my back and sell to somebody else. And then they're going to say, well, why aren't you buying it? And then you say, well, I don't have the money. Or, well, I couldn't find somebody to assign the contract to. No, for all intents and purposes, you are the buyer on the contract. So you can only file or should only file a memorandum if the seller doesn't fulfill their end of the contract. So there are ways, but again, much, I prefer much more to just keep good rapport while we're in escrow, pending closing, keep that good relationship, keep it the strong line of communication. Um, That way they don't even feel the need to go behind your back. You know what I mean? They shouldn't feel the need to go behind your back if you're delivering on what you promised them, or, are fulfilling your obligations to them per the contract, which is why I think contracts are so strong, which is why I'm going to do that video, JLep. I plan on filming that this weekend so that I can release it early next week. I don't know if I'm going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the purchase and sale agreement that I used for my first two deals that I used, uh, that I got signed, and Again, I use the same. Hey, Maria. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Damn, I'm waiting so long for wrong numbers. But yeah, I'm gonna go through that contract. I just um for that video, I'm gonna highlight the stuff in that contract because I know, one, I know it works, and two, uh, I mean that's pretty much the only reason why I feel comfortable doing that one. I want to be clear though, and I'll mention this in the video. I just switched to a new contract after joining this kind of coaching program. He provides everybody with his contract, so I just put that one into my. I use HelloSign, it's just like DocuSign or Right Signature, just the e-signature platform. I use HelloSign. So I just put in my new contract into HelloSign to replace my old contract. Um, and then, put in all the text fields where I'm going to be typing in freeform language. But again, I'm going to do my old contract. Well, two reasons. One, because I know it works and I can actually speak to it. Speak to, some maybe objections that sellers have had when I present them the contract, how to respond to them. Um, and then two, I pay money to be part of this coaching program, just to be quite honest. So as does everybody else in the coaching program. Hey, Jaime. Hello. Um, so I just wouldn't want to. I want to do right by my coach. I don't want to take his material that I paid for and then share it with the world. You know what I mean? That's not right. So, all right, I'm gonna switch gears here. I just hopped off the campaign. I don't. You know what I'm actually gonna do? Let's see if I can do it right quick. I want to increase the number of lines to 5 to see if that makes a difference. Um, campaigns. How do I edit? Settings. Agent connect speed. Oh, I have it on fast, which is why I get some voicemails every once in a while, but still, I never hear the first hello. I never hear them say hello. I'm always jumping on. That's probably because I'm on Wi-Fi and not hooked up to my Ethernet. But channels per agent, I'm gonna bump it up to 5. This is the first time I'm doing this. This is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm pretty excited actually. You'll see it for the first time, JLub, if you're tuned in. I know you're probably out doing the dash, making some deliveries for, I think you said Amazon, right? I'll be right back. All right, I'm gonna give this a whirl. Wish me luck here. Again, what I'm doing is I've always been using 3 lines, triple line dialer for call tools. Although the benefit of call tools is being able to call up to 10 lines. I say this almost every one of my videos in the past week or so, but nobody who I follow recommends calling more than 5. Because the more lines you call, the more contacts you'll get, but then the more data you'll burn through. Because when you're talking to one person on one line, you cannot be talking to somebody else on the other line when they pick up. So your abandon rate, which is what that metric is right there, your abandon rate will also increase. So it's a give and take. You know what I mean? So it seems like 5 is the sweet spot for a lot of wholesalers, what I've heard. Um, but a lot of these wholesalers also have a lot more data than I do. So I'm interested to see. I don't know. This is gonna be the first time, so I'm gonna give it a whirl right now. I may just be like on the phone back and forth, back and forth. So forgive me if I am. I'm gonna be ready for it if that is the case. I just stopped it. You know what? I think it maybe is my numbers. I haven't checked them in a while. I'm gonna go check my numbers and make sure they're not popping up as spam. It's not flagged as a robocaller. Is not flagged as a robocaller. Is not flagged as a robocaller. So it's telling me it's good. So let me hop back in real quick. I guess I just figured I would have gotten the contact by then with 5 lines. I don't know. I could just be like have way too high of expectations. Yeah, that's what I thought, J-Lo. I know the life. Hopping in and out of the car, disconnecting from Bluetooth, hopping back in the car, tuning back into what you were listening to. I know it all too well. Fortune builder. Hello? Hi, it's Miss Chacon. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if I have the right number. Maybe you can help me out. I was looking to get a hold of the owner of a property on Hage Street. Spanish speaker. Um, I have heard of Fortune Builders. Um, you know who I heard it from is somebody I cold called. I cold called this one. This she was like probably my age. This woman, and she was like, "Oh yeah, we're talking about her parents' house that they were thinking about selling, but it ended up not being a lead. They ended up just not wanting to sell." But she was asking me. She asked the same thing that you just asked. Do you know about Fortune Builders? Hello. Hey, Cassandra. Hi there, is Cassandra. Hi, I was looking for Cassandra. Do I have the right number here? Cassandra. I'm sorry. I, Okay, okay. I'm sorry. I might have the wrong number here. Thank you. Um, Now we're rolling. J-Lo. Hey, Miss Serrano. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I have heard of Fortune Builders. I was just saying this. I don't know if you heard, but a woman about my age who I had cold called. I was talking to her about her parents' property. It ended up not being a lead. they didn't want to sell, but she asked the same thing that you just did. Hey, have you ever heard of Fortune Builders? I said, no, what is that? And she put me on game. She was like, oh, it's a coaching program, yada yada. So she was gonna start kind of like bird dogging for me, meaning like she was gonna start looking for opportunities for me just for a referral fee. I don't know if that's exactly what Fortune Builders does, but that's where I heard it from for the first time. I never really looked into it, but I have heard of it. So I just don't know exactly what it entails. What's Are you looking into it, J-Lip? You know what? This data is probably just stale. I completely forgot about that too. I've already called through these a lot of these people already. Um, I think. Yeah. Uh, all right. This ain't it. Let me hop off. I need to get a fresh list in here. Is what I think it is. Um, yeah, that's how I heard about real estate investing. I attended a 3-day program. Oh, but literally most of the time they're just advertising their mastery program. Yeah, that's what I've never been to a seminar myself, but I know that's what it is. They're gonna try to upsell you. They're gonna try to get you to the back of the room. You know what I mean? For anybody who's interested and wants to take their real estate investing to the next level, you can't not get this. So go ahead to the back of the room and sign up. That's what it is. That's how they get you. And their mastery program costs over 50. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure the seminar is free. You know what I mean? It's just another funnel. How many people can you get to the seminar? If you can get 1,000 people to the seminar, you got to believe that at least five of them are gonna join this mastery program. You know what I mean? Just all numbers game. Same old thing. Same funnel, different industry. Same industry, I guess, different business model. So I had only one abandoned there. I think it was probably when I switched to 5 lines. 15 human, 14 of them went to me. Let's see how many of them I actually like were real contacts, because today 5 contacts. I think a few of them I was just really uh, really guessing. But I'm gonna switch gears to some follow-ups here. Um, I'm gonna try to reports, calendar events. Here we go. Opportunities? No. Calendar events. I wonder what opportunities are. Create opportunity. Type. Probability. I haven't really played around with that yet, but I'll hop into my calendar event, see what's going on. I had some people that I wanted to follow. I'm gonna follow up with this guy first, I think. He's through SMS, so um, well, all of these follow-ups you'll be able to hear. Excuse me. Yeah. So this is the guy where I'm thinking there's could be a pretty big spread here. I texted him, dropped him a voicemail, texted him again. He said, "Yeah, give me a call." We talked. I'll play that for a
Hello.
second.
Hey, Mr. Cook. Yeah, how you doing tonight? Hey, I'm doing well. How about yourself? Doing good. Doing good. I just wanted to give you a quick call. We were just going back and forth about your property over on Maybank. Yeah, I'm not really trying to sell it. I've had it, for I've owned that property for about 20 years, and I've got a good tenant in there. But I'd consider selling it if the price was right. But I'm not interested in giving it away. I can tell
Yeah.
you that.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
I don't really. The house needs a fair amount of work on it. It's mainly lot value. I've got a tenant that's been in there about 5 years, and he's a pretty good tenant, and so I'm keeping his rent low. I think I'm charging him $1,200 a month,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd consider selling it. I had an offer of like 254,000 on it recently, and I never did anything with it. So it's just I don't know what you're thinking it's worth, but I'd consider selling it, but it'd have to be somewhere 250 or north of that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, did you have a few minutes? I'd love to kind of just learn a little bit about the condition. That's pretty much how we base our offers. Everything else aside, we're just looking for a property that really we can build in some equity through doing the repairs. So it sounds like the property, like you said, it needs some work, and that's exactly what we're looking for. To be honest, is the roof? How old would you say the roof is?
The roof was there. It's probably about 20 years old.
Anyways, he goes on to talk about the condition of the place. I'll read you my notes that I took from there. I'll say, own the property for 20 years, tenant occupied, tenant's been there for 5 years, good tenant. They're on a month-to-month lease. They pay 1,200 a month, which just seems low. Like he said, he's kind of kept them at that rate because they're good tenants. 20-year-old roof. He thinks it should be replaced. Kitchen updated 10 years ago. Bathrooms have not been updated. AC unit is 4 years old. We both kind of agreed that the renovation cost would probably be around 50,000 if you wanted to redo the place. Seller mentioned that he has received an offer for 254, like you heard at one point, but he didn't accept it. Seller mentioned that he would need at least 250. Seller would want to give his tenant a 60-day notice. New townhomes have gone up right on the other side of the fence. So this is the play that I was talking about, J-Lep, if you're listening on this one, where I think it could be a really big assignment fee. So I ran comps on it. ran comps on it. Uh, this one sold, 370 something. Pretty much, again, like I had said, if what did I have my ARV as? I have some comps and then I have some lots that sold. So sold for lot value. This one had a property on it that sold for 405,000, but the lot is 2,000 square feet bigger. This is a vacant lot that's 1,000 square feet smaller than his property that sold for 342. So I'm just unsure how much it takes to fully demolish a house and to get it build ready. Um, but I don't think it would cost 100,000. So again, this one's 1,000 square feet smaller and it sold for 342,000. It is just a vacant lot though. It was build ready. So for ours, you're gonna have to tear down the place and get it build ready, but I don't think it would cost that much. I mean, but again, he wants 250. I'm gonna call him right now. And then just to finish that thought, there are new construction comps in the area that are going from 1.1 to 1.3 million. So if it is a new construction play and I can find a builder as a cash buyer, I think they would pay somewhere north of 300,000 for it. If it was 1.3 million and they were 1.3 million and they were willing to pay 20% of ARV, they'd be at 260. If I can find somebody, um, I wonder why. If I would need to find somebody at like 25%, and then they'd be at 325. So I mean, it depends, right? I mean, that's a huge difference. 20 and 25% when you're talking $1 million plus is, difference of 50, $80,000. So I think 250 can work. I said definitely a new construction play. If you were to salvage the property, I think ARV is 385 to 400 max. So I'd say 385 conservatively times 0.92 minus 35 for buyer profit minus 20,000 for my own profit minus $50,000 rehab puts you right at 250. So that's exactly where I would need to be for like a sizable assignment fee, 250. But then the newest construction is going over 1 million, and people are buying lots smaller than this one for close to that same amount, about 340. So that's why I'm confident because of those lots that sold. If I can get in contact with one of those builders, then it's for sure a play. So I'm gonna give him a call. I'm gonna try to take the approach of he was like he got me off the phone. I'll play the end of the conversation here. He was shooing me off the phone, or maybe I can't. Yeah, there we go. Sorry.
Street or anything like that. So
Yeah.
we like to work with their timeline and make sure that everything.
Text me back, Derek, and just tell me. Let me know this is Derek, and then I'll know who you are. I get so
Sure.
many calls and texts on this house.
I
So
know, yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
All
Okay.
right,
What
well,
else?
let me know, bud. I'm getting ready to watch the Astros here, and I got some
Of
things I
course.
gotta get done.
Of
So
course.
anyway, well, listen, just text me if there's any interest. Okay.
All right.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks for your time.
Bye.
Bye now.
So so you can hear he kind of was showing me off the phone towards the end of the phone call. And he's really not interested either, which is why this is kind of like a Hail Mary. Not really a Hail Mary because I'm gonna be able to offer him what he wants, but I gotta make it sound like it's not too sweet. So I'm gonna go into the conversation. I'm gonna let him know that my partner had driven past this past week or the other day after we got off the phone, maybe the following day, which is a lie, but he told me to. He was like, "Yeah, yeah, drive past." So I'm just gonna say, my partner had driven past around that area, took a look at some of the new construction, took a look at the outside of your place. Pretty much exactly what we anticipated. You did a really good job of describing the condition. Um, and then I'm going to take the approach of, we ran the numbers. I know that you were saying that you weren't really interested in selling unless you were to get like something that you wanted. And I know you were really wanting, around 250, about that, 250,000 mark. It's going to be, 250 may work for us, but at that price point, it's just going to be really tight. Just to be honest, it's going to be really tight to the point where there's no margin of error, right? If we go over budget on the renovation, we risk not making any money on it. So I wanted to ask if we were able to come in and pay cash. Like I said, respect your tenants and make sure that they're taken care of as well. Make sure that they're not feeling disrespected and feel like they're being neglected in this. Um, and if I was able to buy it as is, so you didn't have to do any repairs before we bought it, again, close on your timeline so that the tenants are well respected. I mean, what's the best price that you could do? And I'm gonna frame it like that. So I'm gonna give him a call. Stop talking about it. I want to pull it up on Zillow first, just so that I can be looking at it. Um, I guess I can't pull it. Oh, here we go. This is my hottest lead that I've gotten through SMS. So um, yeah, here we go. No answer. I'll let it breathe for a second. I'll give him a call back. Um, 4 o'clock. I called him around this time last. Oh no, it was a little bit later, but still want to give him the double tap. Like he said, he gets a bunch of calls on this property. Probably doesn't answer his phone. I probably got lucky since I texted him. Again, perfect example as to why you want to, when you have the means to do it, broaden out your marketing to different channels because people are going to respond differently. I think now that I really reflect on it, the only reason that I probably was able to get on the phone with him was because we went back and forth through text first, to the point where he was like, "All right, let's get on the phone." I'm down to have this conversation. Whereas if just a random number is calling him, he's like, no, I'm not going to answer that. It's probably about the property. I don't want to talk about that right now. So hopefully he saved my number. That's what he asked for. He asked for me to text him, "Hey, this is Derek," so that he can save my number so that he will answer the next time I call, um, which he did not do right now. But I'm going to give him another call right now, double tap him, see if he picks up. All right. No success on that. How do I get rid of this? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna push that out till Monday. I'm gonna stay on top of it though because it's something that I can do. That number that he's talking about, and I just don't want it to pass by and let somebody else scoop it up. Um, so even better if I call him on Monday, I can say that somebody drove by over the weekend. It's funny, I'm delivering at those new types of houses at the moment, and there's some new construction here also. You know what I really thought of doing, and this is something that I don't know if you're able to, but while I was doing the dash around my neighborhoods, around me where I live, I was seriously considering switching from my virtual market to my local market because I am just like you said, you see those type of properties all the time, and it's just a matter of like writing them down and building out the list while you're working. What better way while you're making money, while you're earning money, to start prospecting and building out your list. All right, so he didn't answer. Let me see. Oh, come on. See if I have anything else that I was going to do today from my SMS platform, which I was not. So I'm gonna pop over to conversations just so that I can stay on top of anybody who's getting follow-up text today. Doesn't look like anybody really is though, or at least they haven't yet. Then I'm gonna call back over here and I'm gonna call this woman back. Oh no, wait. Okay, yeah, November 5th. Run comps, determine MAO. Irma has been offered anywhere from 40 to 80 before for the property. He says the house isn't worth anything and it will sell for lot value. Kept saying things like, I'm not stupid, just make me an, oh, this is that guy. Um, I'll get to that another day. Connie, that's the one that was, I'd have to jump through a bunch of hoops to be able to help out. She was asking all types of questions. Guillermo, no plans now, thinking towards end of 2021 or beginning of 2022, getting things in line with the girlfriend. Well, let me give him a call. See if we may be able to make something happen here. I like the area that his property's in as well. This is an area where I did my first deal. Pretty much where I've been driving for dollars since then. So definitely familiar with the area. I'm going to pull it up on PropStream as I'm dialing out to him just so that I can start running comps. While I'm dialing and get this prepared in case he does answer. Although I'm pretty sure I know what I'm going to offer since, again, this is the same exact, as long as it's like similar square footage. My first one was 1,200 square feet. So as long as this one's around 1,200 square feet, then I pretty much know where I have to be. This one is way less, 788 square feet, 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. I'm just going to quickly run the comps. 788 square feet. I'm going to bring it down to 600 minimum, 1,000 maximum. Single family residential. This one was built 1944. I'm going to go minimum 1930, maximum 1960. If you're watching this and you have a pro and you're thinking, oh my gosh, you're going way too far out, whatever. I mean, it's not whatever, but that's how I've been doing it. When it's that old, that's how far I've been doing it. All right, these are all within the same subdivision. I got 6 of them, all within 3/10 of a mile. Let's see what has sold recently. The most recent, 1019, about 2-3 weeks ago, sold for 154. 2 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 20 square feet less, not gonna knock it. 300 square feet bigger on the lot, not gonna knock it. Same year built. So these are perfect comps. 154. Another one sold for 94. I'd imagine that one was probably as is because that's the outlier here. I got another one that sold for 155. Has an extra half bath, so ours could sell for 150. It's about 150 square feet bigger, so I'd say ours could sell for 135. About 2,000 square feet bigger on the lot. I'm not even gonna look at this one. I think that number 1, or rather number 4, was our best bet. 2-1, 843, 118, 135, 15, 100 square feet, 125. What was this one? 154, 125. Man, this one wants 155, 150, 150, 135. I'd say like 135, 140, just to be conservative. Let's see what. So they have a 120 the estimated value on PropStream, and I want to see what they have as the Zestimate on Zillow. The Zestimate is nothing because it didn't pop up. There we go. Zestimate is 97 on Zillow, but I think it's just because it's really small. Let me give him a call though. Stop playing around here.
Hello?
Hey, Guillermo.
This is it.
Guillermo, how's it going? This is Derek. I don't know if you remember, we had actually spoke a few months back in regards to your property over on Garrett Street.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. At the time, you had let me know that you weren't interested at the moment, but you had asked that I give you kind of a call towards the end of 2021. You mentioned that you were getting things in line with the girlfriend, and that's what I'm doing now. Just rounding back, following up, seeing if you've given any more thought to it.
Actually, I am interested. It's just that everything just hasn't lined up quite yet. But hopefully, at the beginning of January, February, will be a better time. But I am interested in selling my property.
Okay, okay. Perfect. Did you have a few moments? I'd love to learn a little bit about it. Maybe we can start talking on how I'd be able to help you out.
Yeah, I have a couple minutes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, I mean, for us, really, I don't know if I mentioned it on the first call, but we can pay cash. The benefit of that is we're really able to close on your timeline. As opposed to if I was needing like a conventional loan or something like that, where they're needing inspections and appraisals and all that. We don't need that. We just need to walk the property a few times, make sure there's no real bad damage to the point where it can't be, salvaged. So the condition is really what we're looking at. So I wanted to ask, what can you tell me about the property? What's kind of the general condition there?
Uh, shop. I, I really can't. It's because I inherited the house. I
Oh,
never
okay.
really bought the house,
Sure.
but it's a fixer upper.
Right, right.
That's way to put it.
Okay. All right. And so you don't know like I guess the details of um, the age of certain things, like how old the roof would be, or
The roof, I do remember it was repaired in early 2000,
okay,
in the 2000s, and then the plumbing's good.
okay.
Yeah, I just know the house was built in back then, so I
Right,
really don't know at the moment.
right, right. Okay. All right. And and I'm sorry, but before I kind of ask more questions, do you live there yourself or
Yes, actually, I live here myself.
okay, okay. All right. Perfect. And what about the kind of the kitchen and bathrooms? What type of work has been done to those, if any?
And I had a when that snowstorm that hit,
Yeah, yeah.
I messed up that. I haven't fixed it. I'm trying to work on that.
Hmm.
It's to be honest, there is a lot of work.
Sure, sure.
When I inherited the house, the person that had it before me, they did a lot of projects that they really never finished.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So I got to come in and just fix everything. Try
Right.
to fix it as I can.
And I'll tell you what, that's really exactly what we're looking for, to be quite honest. We would rather the property need some work. That way we can go in and do the work ourselves to kind of build the equity into it. So I just want to kind of let we're definitely looking to purchase something in its as is condition. That way, you don't have, like you mentioned, you don't have to do all that work before you sell it. Um, that's really what we're looking for. I wanted to ask. It sounds like since you live there and you've given some thought to selling. Did you have plans for yourself? On what you would do after you sell, or an idea of where
Uh,
you'd want to live.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
I'm still trying to figure out me and my girlfriend trying to figure out where we would like to stay.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to gun for Crosby area.
Okay.
Y'all have properties out there that will help out.
Right. You guys looking to lease, or are you looking to buy?
Uh, well, I guess lease because
Hmm.
we want to have all the money at the moment.
Right. Right. Okay. And the reason I asked too is, and I know I'm probably talking your ear off, but it's fairly common as well where we're dealing with some homeowners that need the money, like you've kind of mentioned, you need the money from the sale of your property to be able to use it for the next property, right?
Yeah.
So there's kind of a way where we can get around that, where we could get you paid, a majority of the proceeds from the sale of your property. And then allow you to maybe stay put for another 30 days just so that you can transition comfortably. One, so that you can transition comfortably, and two, so again you can get paid, and then use that money for your next place. So we understand that in all likelihood, you'll likely need the money from the property sale in order to buy the next place. So we get that. Um, all right, and I know you're saying you're kind of looking at more of a early next year. Is there something that needs to kind of get done before you guys feel like you're ready to move forward?
It's not. It's just we're just trying to get everything settled. She just started working. She just graduated and started working her job.
Oh,
So
very cool.
she's trying to settle with her career, and I'm just trying to focus on moving up in my career. And
Sure, sure.
we're just yeah, that's pretty much it. We're just trying to focus on this before we do jump onto another property and jump into something we can't handle.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Would both of you guys be able to do what you're doing for work out in Crosby?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's good. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I was going to ask how if we were able to kind of come to an agreement here that made sense for the both of us. How quickly would you like to get it taken care of? I know that you're saying the beginning of the year. Is it a thing where you want to start having the discussion in the beginning of the year, or towards the beginning of the year, you'd like to kind of just pick up and move?
Uh, just the discussion, the start of
Hmm.
discussion, because I can't make all the calls without talking it over with my girlfriend.
Oh, of course, of course, of course. I wouldn't want you to do it any other way.
Tired.
I totally get that.
Leaving the
I'm
dog out for a while.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. I got to run everything by my old lady too, so I completely understand it. And the reason I ask on the timeline is because it will what we can do if it's something that you and your girlfriend are interested in and open to is we can always set the closing date out, in the future, and then just kind of write in the language in the agreement saying that if everything works out and lines up, we can always close sooner than that tentative closing date that we set up. So we could put something together again if it makes sense, to where we say we're going to close in 90 days, 3 months down the line, and then if again everything lines up for you and your girlfriend and it makes sense to close sooner, then we have that ability. So I just wanted to kind of feel it out. Again, we're able to pay cash. Just wanted to reiterate that and really buy it as is. I think that's the best part in how we buy the properties, because I know that a lot of people have that anxiety and that stress about dumping money into the property before they sell it. But the way that we buy it, we're able to buy it as is, so you don't need to make any repairs. The only thing that we wouldn't be able to cover is like any outstanding mortgage balances or unpaid taxes or judgments or
Oh,
liens.
yeah,
Is
that's no, no, I don't have none of that. All that's taken care of.
Okay. So
I own the house. So,
perfect, perfect. So it's free. You own it free and clear. No other payments are needed on it.
yeah, no, I don't have nothing on it.
Okay.
Just me and
Perfect, perfect. That makes for an ideal situation. Now, with that kind of cash offer and us being able to buy it as is, I don't know if you and your girlfriend have talked about it much, but did you have an idea of how much you'd be looking to get for it?
to be honest, we haven't had that discussion yet.
Sure.
'Cause we just it comes and goes every once in a while, but since I'm trying to make the jump, I'm gonna try to start talking about it way more.
Sure.
See how she feels about it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And sorry about that. I got my window open here. Uh, but yeah, absolutely. And again, I wouldn't want you to do that any other way. So when would you say is probably like a more appropriate time for me to follow up? The beginning of next year.
Yeah, February or March. I
Okay.
think a little bit better.
All right, perfect. I'll give you a ring round then. Allow you guys that time to settle in, figure out the plans. Get a concrete plan in order. And I'd love to again. We really do like the area specifically. We've done a few deals in Pasadena. We're working the South Houston area as well. So we definitely like the area, and we're looking for. I don't know if I mentioned it, but we are looking for one or two more properties before the end of the year, just because we have the cash on hand. We'll get some more cash on hand after that, but right now, we're zoned in on probably getting two more properties before the end of the year, but I'll definitely give you a ring towards the beginning of next year and see if we can make something happen.
All right, sounds good.
All right. I appreciate you taking the call and your time here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
Bye now. kind of a good conversation. I wanted that's that's a conversation where I know if I had better sales skills, I would have been able to talk him off the ledge there. Um, he wants to sell, you know, he just doesn't want to commit to anything, which I get. I would have rathered us get put an agreement in place. You know what I mean? Let's put an agreement in place now. Let's talk. Let's talk money. Figure out how much you guys want. Let's talk money, and then let's put an agreement in place, and then we can set that closing date out far in advance or far in the future. And then if we're able to close before then cool. If not, then we'll close when we talked about closing. Um, he wasn't really open to that though. He has to have the conversation with his girlfriend, which I get. He's talking about February. He wants a phone call. I'm gonna give him a call in January just to tap in, see how he's doing. Um, place is a place is a quote unquote fixer upper, which means it needs to be fully gutted and rehabbed. That's how I'm interpreting that. I tried to dig, and if you caught that, um, this was my thought process while I was on the phone. I was digging deep. I was trying to ask about specific things, the roof. I asked about the kitchen and bathrooms, but then I realized he was embarrassed, is what it was. He didn't want to continue telling me that, oh, that needs to be replaced. That needs to be replaced. That needs to be replaced. And everything I asked, he would have said that. So I caught the hint. I caught the hint early, thinking, oh, okay, he's not gonna tell me anything about the condition. What he's telling me is that it's really bad. Everything's really bad. That's what he's saying. So I stopped asking about the condition and I just wrote down on my notes full rehab. So now I know in which category he's going to fall in. Again, it's either going to be a light, average, or heavy rehab. This sounds like a heavy rehab. He says the roof was replaced early 2000s, which means it's probably nearing 20 years old. I'd imagine that there is no central AC. I'm guessing, but he says the plumbing's good, although he said that the bathroom was messed up because of the recent snowstorm, which was like almost a year. It was like I mean, it was a really long time ago. So the fact that he hasn't made the necessary repairs to that, um, that says it all. That his house is really bad. So I started running kind of numbers. I was gonna offer him, something pretty 30, 40,000, which I think he may have even liked. But yeah. I wish I would have had the. I need to refine my sales skills. I need to get on more cold calling role plays. I need to work on my cold calling and my follow up game because that one is somebody who can be closed. He can be closed right now. You heard him. He wants to sell. Um, the beginning of the phone call, I was like, oh shit, like he's ready. You know what I mean? But then I don't know if it was stuff that I was saying that was kind of turning him off. But I don't know. I just need to be a lot more lax. I'm too uptight on the phone. I know I am. Uh, I'm gonna beat myself up for that because I know I'm like I sound too salesy. I'm referencing my script too much. I just need to have it in my head: condition, timeline, motivation, price. Condition, timeline, motivation, price. Condition. He told me he was embarrassed about everything. Boom, in my head, heavy rehab. On to the next timeline. So how quickly are you wanting to get it done? Oh, you're not wanting to get it done until next year. Would you be open to doing something like putting an agreement in place now, and then we can close around that time? That way, you can use that time in between to get your affairs in order. No, we'd much rather just kind of have that conversation early next year. All right, perfect. Boom. Motivation. What's the motivation? Him and his girlfriend both got jobs. They're wanting to move to Crosby. It sounds like kind of start over. I don't know why they want to move to Crosby. I think he just likes the area, but that's kind of a motivation. He wants to move. He inherited the property. Other motivator right there is he never even planned on living here. He just inherited it, and he probably moved in because he's able to live there for free. He owns it free and clear. He probably just pays property taxes. He wants to lease something in Crosby. Price doesn't have a price in mind, which is going to be 90% of the people, which is fine. Uh, it's fine. It's going to be on me to make him an offer anyway. So I'll probably do that. I'll probably round back with him in like January so that we can revisit that conversation about setting the closing date out in advance. If that makes sense. Because right now he's saying he doesn't want to have the conversation until February or March, which means if he's looking at a 30-day close, that he's not wanting to close and move until like March or April. So if I'm able to round back with him on January and kind of reframe that conversation the same way I just did, well, what do you think about setting the closing date out for till March 30th? 60 days from now, if it's like, January towards the end of January, what do you say about setting the closing date out 60 days? That'll give you enough time to, do this, that, and the third, and yada, yada. So let me make a little note here. Places a fixer upper. Him and his girlfriend want to move to Crosby and lease something. Um, what else did I say? Condition, uh, timeline. He asked for a call back around February or March. Um, wants to get his affairs in order as his girlfriend just graduated and started a new job, and he's trying to move up in his company as well. Um, just excuses, just to make it very clear. That's not why he doesn't want to sell right now. Just an excuse because he doesn't want to deal with it. But that's why I need to get in the habit of making an offer anyways. I could have given him a number that he would have been like, "Oh, like you're able to offer me that much? Like, maybe we will do it sooner rather than later." You know what I mean? Had I given him the price and he was saying these things, I would have been able to confirm that these are all excuses because he doesn't like the price. But since I haven't given him a price, this is just, in my opinion, excuses as to why he doesn't want to deal with it right now. Which is why I need to be asking questions like, well, what's going to happen if you don't end up selling? You know what I mean? Not to say that it's clear that you want to sell, but what happens if you don't end up pulling the trigger? What's your plan then? I need to be asking those type of questions. They're hard to ask, but they're gonna get him spinning his wheels and thinking to himself like, "You're right. I should just sell right now." You know what I mean? Uh, he also inherited the property. Uh, hasn't discussed price with his girlfriend yet. So I'm going to take the calendar events. Was it this one? Yeah. And push it out till like mid-January. This is one where I really don't want to. I'm gonna call him like first week of January. I don't want to miss out on this. He's ready. He wants to sell. If somebody else calls him and is a more of a smooth talker than I am, they'll get that. That's a deal right there. So definitely one I want to stay on top of. Let me see who else I got here. Um, all right, I'm just gonna start going through them. Miss Woodall attempted no opportunity. Connected with Miss Woodall. She confirmed that they were interested in selling possibly in 4 to 6 weeks. That was on 10/18. Let me give her a call right now. I think it's just the first number. 2 I'm not very good at running comps while I'm on the phone too. Uh, just to be quite honest, I'm so caught up. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe I need to be kind of like preoccupying myself with something else so I'm not so uptight on the phone. Or maybe I just need to be making a whole lot more phone calls. Not unlikely. Why can't I find this on Zillow? It's calling it something else. 21720. This isn't the same address. That's weird. 3-1-1500 through. Why is it not the same? Oh yeah, no, it is. Okay. Let me give her a call. $50, $215, $200. I think, yeah, about 10 years older though. I think ours could probably sell for like 175, something like that. What's the estimate on it? 140. Let him out. All right, I'm gonna call it quits right there. I need to hop in the shower. Appreciate you, J-Lup. Anybody else tapping in? Appreciate you too. Do me a favor, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Drop a comment. Any questions, comments, concerns, recommendations, or suggestions. I don't know if you heard that, J-Lup. I'm gonna cut out though. I may help on them. Probably. I mean, I may help on them. I'll do some follow ups. I need to be doing follow ups. Like, that was a perfect example right there. Just the more I tap in with these people, like that conversation that I had with that guy, the more I'm just going to be on his mind. Now he's going to probably have that conversation with his girlfriend about the money, how much they're looking for. So that way, if I revisit the conversation, it's just like little steps. So now the next time I call, maybe they have a number in mind. The next time I call, maybe they're a little bit closer to getting ready to sell. That's why I just need to be constantly staying in front of them. And I know that. So that's something that I'm wanting to do. But till next time, appreciate you as always. Peace.